This is Angela, our detox specialist. I'm Dr. Debbie Deno, and we wanted to visit with you a bit today. A Herx reaction is,
Yeah.
and so I've heard you say this over and over. It's like having flu-like symptoms, but maybe let's talk about what are some of the common symptoms that you saw Vinny, or I know Al's had some interesting reactions too. What are some
hmm
common signs, and even yourself, whenever
Sure.
you're Herxing, what are some common signs that make you think, hey, I'm having this type of detox reaction?
Well, definitely sweating.
Hmm.
Sweating was a big thing for Vinny. His ears would turn bright red. I would notice that. He would have a puddle of wetness around his pillow. And I did realize, like, every time he'd have a lot of her reactions the next day, sometimes there was a lot of milestones that follow, but that's not always the case.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's signaling to the body to calm down, slow it down, or even pause.
Right.
Um, but you can have anywhere from, the chills, sweats, your
Hmm.
body shaking, trembling,
Fever. Fever.
fever,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yep.
joint pain.
Sure.
Then he would say, like, my legs hurt, things like that. Well, now he could say that, but
Yeah.
before, it's kind of like trying to figure it out. But I think the most important thing to understand is that everything like that is short term. It's not long term. And sometimes you have to go through things like that to get to, you know, Vinny just walked by
That's
to,
great. We love our kiddos being part
yeah,
of our
to get
videos.
to the next level of
Yeah.
detox. So, yes.
I think
Oh, yeah,
too,
and
if
he used
we,
to do headstands too. So that was another
oh,
thing. He would like to stand on his head. Um, he was first doing it when he was injured, but then when he was detoxing, he was also doing that to recirculate the blood flow in his head. And I
hmm,
would ask him, "Are you okay?" when he was verbal, and he'd say, "I'm okay, Mom." It
yeah,
was just something that helped him really, I would say, self-soothe and just get through those reactions at the time that they were happening.
it probably freaked you out though. Here's a
Yeah.
kid standing on his head on the sofa.
And it was also nerve-wracking because he was doing that when he was injured. So then I'm thinking, oh my God, are we going back to that? But
Hmm.
then I said, no, we don't speak those things. We just keep trucking along and doing the needful. But yeah, for my kids, I would say that was most of it.
Yeah.
Those symptoms.
So I'll see in adults sometimes rashes, hives is a big one,
Yeah.
especially if they're so super sensitive. And I think too, like you said, Vinny wasn't able to talk initially, but sometimes there's some other signs, right, that they're herxing, that they're basically having an inflammation reaction, right? So
hmm
Vinny would do some things with his head. Do you want to tell us what that was?
Yeah, he would stand on his head, or he would um he would stand on his head mostly when he was going through, like, I would say, the deeper levels of
Hmm.
detox. But
Yeah.
um the other things would be more or less just like the sweating and
Hmm.
things like that with him.
Yeah, mood changes whenever
Yes,
the
yes,
kids, especially if we're about to see a milestone, right?
correct.
So,
Yeah, sometimes there's a little bit of setbacks, regressions, or even agitation,
mhm,
that they just have to get out of their symptom, which sometimes has to do with, parasites and everything
mhm.
else that you're battling at the time of
Yeah,
detoxing. You're going after so many different things at one time.
yeah, I know. I sometimes even before I have a little cramping, so sometimes people have got some gut distress, right? They'll cramp or they'll have diarrhea or they'll have a big stinky bowel movement can be part of this reaction.
Oh
But
yeah.
even before I get that, I and I'm getting more sensitive to this. God bless my husband, but I get really gritchy and
Yeah.
short temper. I'm more easily agitated when I'm having that Herx kind of thing. And it's really just
Yeah.
inflammation out of control. So it can affect anything, but especially I think with our kiddos, because whatever toxicity they've had, their brains are on fire, right? Um,
Right. And when you start detoxing yourself as an adult, as the parent, and realize what they go through as children, you'll absolutely realize why you should start low and slow and be mindful of their age and be mindful of what their body can tolerate. Because if you're an adult taking some of these supplements,
mhm.
prime example, I restarted myself on gut drops, and that was
Yeah,
not great. No, that was real crazy.
yeah.
Um, But I did notice as I laid down, tried to talk myself off the ledge, calm down, drink a lot of water. I started feeling like myself, but it was, the toxic load. It's hard to get through. But once you get through it, then the next day you feel amazing.
Better.
Mhm.
And that's a good thing too, because we talk about there's a difference between having one of these types of herx or inflammatory reactions because you're pushing detox too hard versus it's a normal part of you got to
Of
get
the
this crap
protocol.
out. Right.
Yeah.
So one of the things we've talked about just in the last few days even is one way we know, like you just said, it's we feel better within hours or the next day. And it's a significant improvement, right?
Oh, significant. Anytime I've had a crazy reaction myself, the next day I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
And it just makes you feel like you should be doing it more often
Right.
because
Right.
it just comes back.
It's so dramatic. And well, we'll come back to that, why would you even want to put yourself through this? But the second thing is it's quick, right? So
Correct.
if you see the kids, if like when Vinny was having a headstand, I mean, is it days, is it weeks before you notice this change, this improvement?
I mean, sometimes it was days, but then there were times it was like a week. It was all
Mhm.
depending on what his body wanted to do. But I think the most important part is having the tools at home for the reaction. So when it's happening,
Right.
you have extra things like, one of our favorite, like, drainage tone. Like if
Oh yeah.
I didn't have that to help speed things along the process with him, detoxing, I think we would have had
Mhm.
a rougher time. So I think if you have those types of remedies to support it, it'll be a
Mhm.
lot better.
And that's a good comment too, because when we herx, our body is trying to work through those drainage pathways. It's created an inflammation reaction as the toxins come out or as the body tries to deal with it. And we're going to see some change. So skin, we might see the sweating, right? The
Yeah.
redness, the rashes or things like that. Particularly the rashes or eczema or acne, when we see those reactions, that oftentimes tell us this isn't necessarily a good reaction. This is
Right.
maybe more toward the side of those drainage pathways are clogged
Being
up
plugged
and they
up.
need some
Yep.
help. Yeah, so
Mhm.
drainage tone is one of our favorites. It's a homeopathic, it's tasteless,
Super
right?
safe.
Yeah, super
Mhm.
safe. You can't really OD on it. I've heard you
Mhm.
say the kids could drink the
Yeah.
bottle and all they might do is
Yep.
poop more.
Yep. Vinny
Right?
loved it. I would always catch him.
Yeah, yeah, and it doesn't really taste like anything. So
No.
kids or adults can put it under their tongue, right, in their mouth, or we can add it to juices and things like that. And drainage tone is good because it supports all the drainage pathways, the skin, so sweating,
Yes.
the lungs. So sometimes you may notice when kids are detoxing or adults that their breath smells a little funky, right?
Yeah. I always smelled metal on Vinny's breath now that you bring that up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Another common one, particularly if the liver is having trouble helping the body, is people will say that they've got a sour or metallic taste in their mouth, even after
Interesting.
brushing their teeth.
Wow.
So we can breathe out these toxins. We might even see maybe our kiddos or us have a little bit extra mucus, right? Because that's one of the things that the lungs do to try and get that crap out is
Yeah.
to put it in mucus. So you cough and hack and get rid of that, right? And then we talked about the bowels, and that's what the gut drops did to you the other day. We're
Mhm.
not trying to TMI, but you had some cramping, right? Your body
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
"Hey,
And I think it's important that, we're posting in this group to help you all. And just so that it's a symptom, it'll go away. It's just a little reaction.
mm-hmm.
It's an issue when it doesn't go away. When you
Yeah,
continuously try to feel like that, then okay, there needs to be, maybe guidance.
mm-hmm.
Sometimes people need it. I know I did, and now you're helping me with my kids and you're teaching me things every day. So
Mm.
I think it's important if it does become too much of a journey, we're here.
Yeah,
There's so
and
many tools we have to help people. And yeah, we're all virtual, but we're here and we can get you what you need when you need it. And
for
a lot
sure.
of that is just parent support, what
Yeah.
people need most.
So we love drainage tone to help either prevent or lessen Herx reactions, or if you're having one to help manage it. And that opens up all the pathways, pooping and the liver and skin and lungs and kidneys, all of it. That's another
Mhm.
thing. Urine might be really stinky too.
Correct.
But we've also recommended, and I've used this bowel mover from Cellcore.
Yes.
We love that. Um, but let's also talk about a really easy thing, and that was coconut oil, right? That MCT oil, organic coconut oil. And
That
how
will
do
be.
you, yeah, how do you use that with the kiddos?
So I give it to them orally on a spoon, but I
Hmm.
also put a squirt into their pancakes or a squirt
Hmm.
into, different things I make for them. But
Right?
it's so good. We could do a whole
Mm,
video on coconut oil because there's so
sure.
many
Mhm.
beneficial properties of it. But
Mhm.
a good tool to have, especially for the reactions that we're talking about now.
Yeah. And if you do
Mhm.
have any skin reactions, we still want you to support drainage from the inside with like
Yep.
drainage tone, bowel mover, or something, whatever we find works for you. But honestly, organic coconut oil and organic castor oil, you can put that on the skin issue. You can put that stuff in your belly button because it gets absorbed real quick into
Mhm.
the bloodstream. There's all kinds of
One of
ways.
the kiddos we work with had eczema and she was using it topically and saw a major improvement in it. So
Yeah. And our other thing that we both love is I think everybody ought to take fulvic minerals every day.
definitely. Oh my gosh,
That
yeah.
that is great because it gives our mitochondria, gives our cells what they need, and it gives,
Brain juice. That's what we used to call it in this
there you
house. Brain
go.
juice.
It is
Mm-hmm.
brain juice because you need those minerals for your brain to function
Right.
properly. Absolutely. You can also mix that topically if you ever have any skin irritations with the kiddos with some of that coconut oil or castor oil and put that on it. And then we got to encourage pooping. We said that. We got to encourage sweating. Um, what other tools do you guys use? Oh, yeah. So not everybody wants to stand on their head, but standing on
Right.
the head, like you said, gets good blood flow, also
Right.
helps circulate the lymph. What are some other ways that maybe our families could help support lymph drainage? What?
Perfect. Yeah, rebounding. We get them bouncing, bounce. And if you don't have a
Mhm.
trampoline, get a birthing ball. Like you can make
Yes.
this affordable. You can do
Hmm.
this. Like get them on the ball, bounce, bounce,
Hmm.
bounce.
Hmm.
But the most two important things I would say are rest and hydration. Because
Absolutely.
without rest, the body, the brain is not going to do, what it's supposed to do. So there needs to
Hmm.
be adequate rest and
Hmm.
adequate hydration. And if the Herc reactions get too severe that it's disrupting their sleep, then again, you need somebody to
Hmm.
help you
Absolutely.
because
Help
something's
coach you.
wrong. Hmm.
Absolutely. There's some other tools we use. We use detox baths, right?
Yes.
It's just warm water, Epsom salts, and that's a good thing to do a couple times a
The
week.
lavender oil that you recommended, we do that too in
Yeah,
the
with a
bath.
little lavender oil in there or
Yeah.
whatever essential oil your kids tolerate really well that's soothing. I love that rest and water and sleep and all of those
Mhm.
things. There was something else that I wanted to mention, the rebounding. I don't know. It'll maybe come to me and we can put this in the comments or some
Yeah.
graphics to go along with the post. But basically what we're hoping to convey is Herx reactions aren't necessarily bad. They're a sign, right? And they're a sign that either you're on the right track and you're moving toxins, so it'll be temporary, it'll be short, or you're not on the right track and you're maybe doing it too fast. Or we also find people have Herx reactions, right? Because they just go right to killing, right to pulling heavy metals or parasites out, and they haven't worked on drainage. They haven't
They
worked on
haven't set a
energy.
foundation. They
Yes.
haven't set the foundation.
Yes. And part of that foundation, I find we're doing more and more talking with parents because it seems like we keep getting more and more kiddos that have a very picky diet. So
Yes.
how can we help create a good foundation when all they want to do is eat two foods and drink water? What do you
Right.
recommend?
So I recommend the super greens from Touchstone for the picky eaters.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, that's temporary. It won't be forever, but at the least, you can get so many essential vitamins and veggies and fruits in that chlorophyll, all of that in that dose, so that they're getting it somehow. And then once like the toxicity level lowers, then
Mm-hmm.
the pickiness should stop. They
Yeah.
should want to try new things.
Yeah.
Like with Vinny, when we noticed that, I would say, "Oh, here, do you want this apple?" Or, "Hey, do you want this orange?" I would just give it to him, even if you just
Mm-hmm.
touched it and put it down. It was fine, but you're still introducing things and you're still offering, and that's what I think is important.
Absolutely. Okay, so we hope that this has been beneficial to kind of
Oh,
make Herx reactions not seem so scary, but also to give you some info. And then, like Angela said, we'll make sure that we post if you need to do a discovery call with us or a consult with us to get some help. We're happy to help. And we'll also put some links in for what we have in our medicine cabinet to help when we have Herx reactions. Oh, I know what I was going to say, a binder, right? We use
correct.
binders, and one of our favorites, the gentlest one that I know of that you've exposed me to is PBX spray. So we'll put
Yeah.
all those links in. And yeah, post any comments that you have, share those with us, and we'll talk
Never too
again.
late to start.
That's right.